The Galactic Council chamber was designed to humble all who entered. Towering crystalline arches framed the vast hall, and in its center sat the representatives of 1,000 worlds. They looked down on humanity's delegation as if Earth were nothing more than an unruly child, granted temporary entry into the realm of gods. For years, humanity had tolerated the insults. Primitive species, upstarts, barely evolved mammals. The councilors mocked Earth even as human fleets grew stronger, their soldiers hardened by conflicts that other races considered beneath notice. Peace talks had dragged on, thinly veiled lectures in which the council demanded obedience, tribute, and humility. And humanity, desperate to avoid another galaxy-wide war, endured it all. Until now. The chamber had been full when the council's grand speaker delivered the latest ultimatum. Humanity must dismantle its orbital defense network, surrender its colonies beyond Sol, and submit to cultural guardianship. The words dripped with superiority, framed as generosity. When the speaker finished, smug silence followed, an expectation that the humans would bow once more. But this time, Earth's lead envoy, Admiral Marcus Hale, stood and placed his hands flat on the obsidian table. "We came here for peace," Hale said, his voice carrying across the chamber. "But peace cannot exist without respect, and you have shown humanity none." Laughter rippled through the alien delegates. A dozen species displayed their contempt, in a dozen ways, clicking mandibles, rippling feathers, slapping tails. Hale let it wash over him, his expression hard as carved stone. "We withdraw," he said. The laughter faltered. "Withdraw," the Grand Speaker repeated, blinking his multifaceted eyes. "You cannot withdraw. Peace is not yours to decide. You either submit, or you burn." Hale leaned forward. "Then you will learn what it means when humanity chooses war." Gasps filled the chamber. The humans turned as one and walked out, their boots striking against the crystalline floor like a drumbeat. The councilors erupted into shouts, demands, and jeers, but the humans did not look back. 2 weeks later, the first council fleet entered Sol to enforce compliance. They expected a simple mission: destroy Earth's orbital defenses, seize Mars, and drag humanity back to the negotiating table in chains. But when their ships translated from slipspace, they found themselves staring into the barrels of an armada. Hundreds of human warships, sleek and bristling with weapons, were waiting. Carriers launched swarms of fighters, dreadnoughts rolled in formation, and from behind the darkened face of Luna, massive orbital cannons revealed themselves, charging with a hum that made even hardened captains shudder. The first battle lasted less than an hour. The council fleet was annihilated. Reports reached the chamber days later, carried by fleeing ships that barely escaped the slaughter. The councilors sneered at first, calling it exaggeration. But then came confirmation. Earth had destroyed an entire council fleet and captured its admiral alive. Humanity broadcast his confession across the galaxy, his voice trembling as he described the precision, the discipline, the ruthlessness of the human counterattack. And still, the council believed arrogance would save them. They dispatched a second fleet, larger, more experienced. This time, humans did not wait. Strike groups emerged from slipspace in council territory, torching shipyards, raiding supply depots, cutting deep into enemy lines. The war had not only begun, it was being won. The mistake became clear too late. In mocking humanity, in dismissing their warnings, the council had ignored the truth. Humans had been preparing centuries of war on their own world. Endless conflicts, in the void of space, had forged them into something the council had never faced: warriors who fought with desperation, creativity, and fury. Entire member species began to question their allegiance. Why die against humans who fought like demons, when survival meant stepping aside? Rebellions ignited on occupied worlds, inspired by the sight of humans standing unbroken against the most powerful government in the galaxy. The council met again in their grand chamber, but this time, there was no laughter. Reports piled on their desks. Fleets destroyed, colonies lost, allies defecting. One by one, delegates realized the unthinkable truth. The humans had not needed peace. The humans had offered it. And the council, blinded by arrogance, had thrown it away. The war that followed would scar the galaxy for generations. Empires toppled, star systems burned, and the balance of power shattered. And at the heart of it all was a single moment, replayed endlessly in council archives. A human standing before them, voice steady, saying, "We withdraw." It was not a retreat, it was a warning.